think I start actually.
Oh, it started already.
Yeah, which is fine. We can.
Can you clip it?
Yeah, I think we can cancel it out. So I think it's recording. Yeah, go ahead.
What up, what up, what up, y'all? Welcome back to the Man Cave with myself, Cedric Edison, and my man, Ron serving. Wow, it is the top of the year, our very first episode of the year. I think we're going into what, year 3 now, man. That's a highlight to look back over.
Yeah, and we're wearing the Christmas red. The Christmas red.
Hey, this was not planned, y'all. It was not planned. He on one side, I'm on the other side, and here we go, showing up. Great minds think alike, right?
Yep.
Cool. And man, we appreciate y'all joining us, man. What's happening out there in Cali, man? What's good with you?
You know what? It's been kind of an interesting year. We've got a lot of good, a lot of good rainfall again this year, which has been really, really cool. Mountains have been full of snow. Of course, being probably one of the better early years for snowboarding, I've got a bum foot right now, so just kind of taking it easy, but just excited. As you know, retired from my job of almost 36 years back a few weeks ago. This is like week 3.
Right.
So just a lot of new things in my life, just time and really realizing I'm in charge of filling those spaces in time that are now available or not. I don't have to fill every slot. I don't have to just check the box and fill the bubble. I can decide how I want to live my life, knowing that I'm still working on my business. Family still depending on me to take actions in my life, which I'm doing, and feeling fantastic about that. And love being back here. Love being back here because this is where I can just let go of everything and just be the man that I really aspire to be. And that's always that next best version that's just right around the corner. And I think for you, the listener, like that's possible for you as well. I think this idea of, what's possible in my life, what's impossible in my life, what can I do? And I'd love to hear you said what's going on with you and what 2020 is looking like for you right now as you sit here in this moment.
2020 is looking like 2020 vision, man. Man, everything, man. It's like in this particular moment, just a lot of reflection right now. Just looking back and how I'm looking at it, because I know what worked. The things that worked. So I'm reaping those benefits. So for me, it's just looking at not necessarily what didn't work, but what can I do differently to get a better result. Not even a different, but a better result. And so just kind of reflecting on that and trying to, it's a two-tone theme, like new goal, like what do I want to see happen, and creating that plan to, get detailed steps to how I'm going to make that happen versus just jumping off into the woods trying to find a pot of gold on its own, man.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at.
And I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting because I think when we were speaking before we got on here and just talking about 2020, looking back, looking forward, and I think the one thing that when I was listening to myself say that right now, what came to mind was, change can happen anytime. I think oftentimes we wait until the new year to take action in our life, but things can change anytime during your life. So although we may be speaking a lot about kind of what we're looking to do in the next year, what we might have done in the past year that we reflect upon, knowing that change is always possible. It doesn't have to be January 1st. It could be February 1st. It could be March 1st. It could be, August 13th. Change is possible anytime. So I just want to make sure, you, the listener, myself, Cedric, you, that, that's important, because then we don't have to wait until like the quote unquote perfect time to take action in our life.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. Because I was thinking, a lot of people, they want to lose, we hear it every year. I want to lose the weight. I'm going to start going back to the gym, eat better, save more money, all the whole nine of a New Year resolution. And it's fun, especially being a health coach, when you're trying to get ahead of the game, like, yo, we can start now. And they're like, well, I'm going to wait till the holiday, or I'm going to wait till the new year. And I'm like, yo, Like, let's go. Like, why do you have to wait? Because you're gonna have to replace those habits. And if you start today, tomorrow, next week, next year, it's still going to be the same on day one. You know, you still
Go
gonna have
time,
those
yeah, go time can be anytime, right?
yeah. And I think I posted something, man. If you keep waiting on, basically it was, if you keep waiting on a perfect situation to start, you never will. You know, and that's kind of what I want to talk about, man. That planning stage, and I think honestly, man, one of the big problems is people don't have that why to fuel the commitment.
Hmm.
You know, because we all start out tomorrow. We're committed. We're motivated, man. Hey, the new year, how go? New year, new me. Clear vision for 2020. We going blah all of that. We committed, and then the day the hiccup happens, we forget it all.
Yeah.
And I think it's because we miss two things: the why, and we don't have a solid enough plan. You know. So, man, like, now I'm curious, man. Like, when it comes to, like, you have a goal, how does that planning process go for you?
Yeah,
Like, in order
let me speak to that in a moment. But as you were saying that previous thought, I was thinking oftentimes we may not even feel that we're worthy of this goal that we're setting for ourselves. So what could happen is we keep pushing the desired result further out because we don't, we're not allowing ourselves to actually experience it. So be aware of that. I think, as you're setting these goals or intentions for your year, are you really first of all selecting something that you can actually achieve, and also in moving for that towards that, are you continually pushing it further away because you don't feel like it's even possible, or you're worthy of it, or it's something that that you can achieve? I think that's an important part. But to your point, what you said, as far as your question, the three things I really focus on that really allow me to kind of live my life to the fullest, and much more, kind of the experience is much more real, is to, first of all, just to set my intention. And I look at this intention as just being a seed. What viable seed do I have that I can place in the fertile soil of my life that can grow? And when you decide what this intention is, what you really want, what you want to experience, what attention am I willing to put on it? When you plant a seed in the garden, you need to water it, you need to fertilize it, and they need sunlight, it needs care. So are you giving this intention the attention that it needs? And then really focusing on where's the energy? Where's the energy in your life? Because energy for me is never born, never dies, it's always available. If I'm not seeing my intentions grow or come to fruition, my attention and my energy is somewhere displaced. And I think that's an important part of the three, for me, the three integral parts of my life is to, again, have an intention, a clear intention, an achievable intention. Where's my attention? Where's my focus? And then where's the energy? Where's the energy in my body? Is it displaced, somewhere else out in the universe? Am I giving this energy to somebody else? And I think when those are all in alignment, for me, shit happens. It's not luck. It's not circumstances. It's because I've had a clear vision and a clear game plan on making that happen.
nice, nice.
And I know you've
Yeah,
got
man.
somewhat similar philosophy, and I love your acronyms. So I'd love for you to share that kind of philosophy and your mindset, and you're trying to make things happen in your life.
Yeah, man. For me, it's an intention. It all starts out with an intent. You know, you just kind of sitting there like, man, what the hell do I want to do? Like, what is the intent for this year? Which is my goal. This is what I would like to have happen, how I would like to be, blah, 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 X, Y, Z. And then I've learned now that I got to make it, it's not about like, for me, it's now I'm looking at it, my why is if I need to be or do the things in my list, how is it going to benefit others?
Mhm.
like quitting smoking, quitting smoking. Yeah, it's healthy for me, but how is that going to help my son, other people? So now it's looking at all of my goals from that intent to be able to help other people, because that's the motivating factor when it comes to taking the action. And now, in order to take the action, I use an acronym, y'all. And I ask everybody, man, are you paired? I pair myself like your Bluetooth to my dream, and that's I plan. I'm planning. So coming up with a step by step, not necessarily hour by hour. That might not be for you. You might be a block schedule. You might be or whatever. But have a plan. Just saying, hey, I'm going to lose weight or I'm going to stop smoking. The plan is the things that you put in place to set yourself up for the best possible result. That's a plan versus just saying, I'm just not going to smoke. Yeah, it's possible, but it's hard, a lot harder.
And I think, Seth, just to interrupt you slightly, and you may get to this, but I think the important part of that early process as well is, why is this important to me? Because I think sometimes we take actions in our life and we're not doing it for the right reasons. We're doing it because society tells us that we need to look a certain way or we need to act a certain way. It has to come from your own heart. So I think that's just the early question to ask yourself: why is it important for me to lose weight? Why is it important for me to stop smoking? You bring in a great part of that in saying how it's going to impact others. But I think we have to really get to the root of our own. What is the big why for me? And you alluded to this, because I think that question can be asked over and over. I think never losing sight of the why.
Yeah. What I found about that, and that's the thing, man. Another part of that too is, don't be afraid to change how you view it. Mm-hmm. Because I was a big thing, the why is important. It's just now the why, the way the why works for me is a little bit different now. And it's selfish from the point, because I found it cuts deeper when it comes to the A in the pair. So the P is the planning, the E is execution. You have to execute. And that kind of ties into that a little bit, into that execution part, because right now we can come up with all these goals for the Man Cave, our businesses, or whatever you have that you're thinking about. And it's like, yeah, but motivation has a shelf life, right? And what I found when I placed the why on me, it's almost like me putting being self-accountable, which I can cheat it a little bit. And it's like, I'll get back to it because it's only me. But now I've noticed when I place it, same concept, but now it's a little bit deeper why, get it, like we say, the why beneath the why. Like, because at first it was like, man, hey, I want to be able to own a home. Yeah, I do. And it's very important because I want to give back. But now it's like, yo, I want to own a home so I have an asset to pass to my kid. Mm-hmm. And so now when I'm not being financial responsibility, it's not like, oh, why didn't you do that? It's like, yo, this action that you're about, this frivolous spending, that's about to hurt your son. And then it's like, yo, it cut real deep, and I feel it, and it's holding me accountable more. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I was getting at around that. Like, it's been a little bit of growth around it, honestly, man. I don't know if we ever chopped it up. And so that's the second part. And that's why you got to have that why, that no matter how, though, because that's going to fuel that execution when, you had a late night, the baby was up crying, but now it's time to go to the gym. Or that routine hits and it's day 2 and you're having your cup of coffee, but you're used to smoking a cigarette, and you're like, fuck, like that deep why. And then the third step to mine is I adjust. It's no failure. It's all adjustments. Okay, it didn't go quite. Okay, I smoked. Or I did X, Y, and Z. Great. Cool, that's fantastic. Now we got a baseline. You know what I'm saying? Great. It's a constant baselines. All right. Well, this is how I was feeling. This is what I was thinking. This is what was going on and caused me to do this. Now I can adjust me. What do I need to do differently to get a better result? I adjust. And then the R, which is another very, 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 very important piece where a lot of people mess up, including myself, is the R, and that's repeat. And if we put it in a different term, consistency. We're not consistent because all that is, you're just repeating those same things over and over and over. And now, you know, if you do all of those steps correctly, like, you know, you on your Bluetooth, you press and hold this one on this device, and you press and hold this one on that device, and it's gonna take a second, but after a while, they're paired. And guess what? Once they're paired, everything opens up. It's the dream world. Now I can touch of a button, control every fucking thing. Like I'm hyped now. I'm sorry, y'all. Rated, I don't know, PG-13. But yeah, man, that's my
point. I think those are both, you know, very instrumental parts of our life because they can very well be integrated into a process. So it's more of that mindful. It's almost like bringing mindfulness even to a deeper level of this process that you're going through. And I think the other thing you mentioned about execution, which kind of stuck with me, was, you know, the decisions that we make now. And this is something that I'm really trying to, you know, keep in mind for myself. And you brought it to point was, you know, the decisions you're making now as far as purchasing a home that you can, you know, then should be able to, you know, give to your son or will to your son or whatever that might look like. And I think it's that willingness to understand the decisions we're making now is what our life will be looking like 5 to 10 years from now in certain instances. You know, and health related, you know, areas, some things can happen quicker, right? We could start dieting this week and exercising, we can lose weight, you know, the next month. Other things take time. So those decisions that you're making mindfully about, you know, investing in property or investing in, you know, education or all these things that take time, you know, I think that's, you know, I think an important part of planning is not just for the present, not for tomorrow, not for next year, but knowing those big decisions and those big planning moments that we're taking in our life that are not going to happen for 5 to 10 years. You know, those actions, because, you know, for me, looking back, you know, when now I'm, you know, in a stage of retirement or repurposing my life, it's like the decisions that I could have made or might have made when I was 45, right? You know, was, you know, could have been, you know, more productive in a way that set myself up for this year, this time in my life being even more enhanced. So I think it's, you know, not that it was a bad decision, but I think we have to be aware of how, you know, again, those decisions, it's like all of the sun damage we had from when we were kids, you know, that eventually come out 15, 20, 30 years later, potentially as, you know, a skin condition. You know, those decisions we made many, many years ago may not show up until, you know, many, you know, later years of our life. So I think the more we become planners, the more we become, you know, mindful of the decisions we're making, you know, I think we start making the decisions not just for today, not just for the moment, not just for tomorrow, but also those long-term effects that we've done, the decisions we make.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, man.
I mean, even as simple as the experience that you gave, you know, Messiah as your son for Christmas, he may not realize, you know, until 10 years from now or 5 years from now, how important that experience was. So it's like, it's not always in the moment of what you see from him or experience from him, even as, you know, even my son, who's 15 now, you know, the experiences he's having now as a 15-year-old, then maybe something we reflect upon or you have a growing moment in our relationship 5, 10 years from now. He looks back and remembers just some of the times we spent today or tomorrow or the next day as being building blocks for our relationship as a father and son.
Yeah, yeah. Ripple effects, huh?
And trusting, you know, the outcome, not having a certain expectation and letting go of those results. And that's tough. I think we all want to see the weight loss. We all want to see, you know, the fruits of our efforts. And sometimes we have to just trust. and let go. And everything doesn't always work out. Those we have, expectations of what we would like to experience as a result of our efforts. Sometimes they come to fruition. Sometimes there's a different version of that we experience, but just the fact that we're doing. And the other thing I was going to bring up was, and we've talked about this before, all these things that we're doing, a very important question for myself to ask me, Cedric, for you to ask yourself, and you, the listener, when I'm doing these things in my life, who am I being? And I can't say that enough, because we can go through life and just take actions and not really reflect and understand who we're showing up in our life, in those experiences. And if you're not connected to that and showing up in the best way you can as a human being, then all those experiences, all those goals, all those things that you're trying to achieve in your life aren't going to be as meaningful. They're not going to be as connected to you as a person, because you're losing the journey. You're losing the whole effort of who you are being during that whole process, the ups and the downs, not just the good parts about it, but the challenging parts of it as well.
Yeah. Say, man, it's been good, man. We got deep real quick.
Well, and I think it just brings up, as I mentioned early on, for myself, just hearing, sometimes these conversations just, inspire my thoughts even deeper, because, again, I not waited until, but I took action a month ago to create a vision for myself of what I will be experiencing a year from now. But that doesn't take the end of the year for that to happen. So that's just kind of, I guess, what I'm, again, bringing up in closing. And, to you, the listener, to you, Cedric, to hearing myself say this, take actions year round. You don't have to wait until a new year or your birthday or something significant to happen to, create something in your life that you want to experience, and stick with it. Plan. Use the PAIR method. Plant your seeds of intention. Give it, the attention that it needs, and focus your energy in where it needs to be. And the things you want in your life, you are deserving of, and reach those goals that you're looking for. Achieve everything and more that you want to experience in life, and never give up on that next best version of yourself that is always waiting for you to step into it.
Yeah. Man, in using your words, I love how you put it in my closing, is in that process, figure out what it is I want to do. And Ron's words, who do I need to be in order for that to happen? And then use the PAIR method. Plan it out, step it out. In order to have this, I need to do X, and when X, Y. Doesn't matter when or how. Just create a plan and just start executing, working it.
And be willing to reach out.
Because if you just plan it, yes, and we, you know what, man, we could probably come back and have an episode on all of these different steps, because we can't cover it in just this one little episode, everything, because we can have a whole season on planning, the whole season on taking action and adjustments and all of that stuff, consistency or repeating. So yeah, just like high level though, execute it, take action every day. And to give you a visual on that, I want you to think about an ant and an elephant. The goal is to eat the whole elephant, but he makes a plan, and sometimes he has to go and get a team. Hey, let's all attack this, and he asks for help, and they eat the elephant one piece at a time, taking action, execute it, and then adjust. Failures. If you miss the mark, it's a baseline. Okay, this is the bar was here, I hit here. Now what do I need to do to close that gap, if that makes sense? And then repeat, consistency. Do it over and over. That's the, and I may contradict myself later, but right now, the way I believe is consistency is the surefire way of getting the results you want. And that's just high level, because we consistently have to do the right thing. I will say that. but you have to be consistent. You can either be consistent doing the wrong thing and get the same results, or consistently doing the right things that others have done before you to get those type of results. So that's my 2 cents. I hope a word was said, that was felt, understood, accepted. And if so, man, give it to somebody. Each one, teach one. That's all we trying to do, man.
Yep. Just keeping it real in the cave, right?
Yeah, man. We're just chilling in the cave and just keep it 100, as they say. Well, y'all, hey, I hope y'all 2020 is a hell of a lot better than your 2019. I hope you get everything you desire, want, may even ask for. Man, I really do. Hey, like us on Facebook, the Man Kave Experience. Go ahead. If you haven't, subscribe to the show, hit like, share, whatever the hell you really want to do, honestly. But help us help others, man, out there. Love y'all. Yeah.